Alright, fellas, it's time to go last video for a while. This is not gonna be the last episode we're doing today. Just last one for a while. I'll do the other three later on today. But anyway, so last episode we're looking at least for now, is a new man. Riley and Buffy are making out on her bed. Wilson barges into the room and tells them of a demon attack in the rec room. They go after it armed with weapons, only to find that it's a surprise party for Buffy's 19th birthday. At the party, Buffy introduces Riley as her boyfriend to Giles, and Riley asks Giles about what he does now that he's out of a job since the school burned down. Buffy then gushes to Giles about Professor Walsh and how she's the smartest person she's ever met. She explains that she was invited to the party because she's got better things to do than hang out with a bunch of kids. Now able to hurt and kill demons, Spike packs his things as he moves out of Xander's basement. Riley introduces Buffy to Professor Walsh as the Slayer. Walsh says they can learn from each other and, as an example of their impressive results, Riley has killed or captured 17 hostiles. She inquires about how many Buffy has slain. Giles discovers the powerful demon Barvain is about to rise. He calls Buffy to her dorm, but Will informs him that she is with Professor Walsh. Walking through the campus, Buffy tries to be humble, but Riley is stunned by her history of slaying. Giles goes to Walsh to talk about Buffy. She says that the lack of a father figure in Buffy's life is a problem, which offends Giles. Will and Xander go with Giles to a cemetery to find Barvain. Instead, they find the area clean, which Will suggests is the work of the Initiative. She and Xander go on about how thorough the operation is, and they notice that Giles never knew about the Initiative or that Riley or Walsh are part of it. Giles sends Will and Xander away, offering to stay in the mausoleum in case anything happens. Dejected, he soon leaves. Ethan walks out of the shadows, speaking of interesting things to come, only to become when Giles re-enters the mausoleum. Giles prepares to beat Ethan, but Ethan hastily promises of information. Drinking in a bar, Ethan tells Giles that the underworld is being threatened by the Initiative, especially something called 314. He says that whatever the Initiative is doing is throwing everything out of balance, and the underworld fears it. Buffy and Riley spar together. They hold back at first, so Buffy kicks Riley hard enough to send him flying across the room. In the bar, Giles and Ethan get drunk. Giles opens up about how left out he feels and his annoyance that the Initiative have demons running scared and been fighting him for 20 years. Ethan flirtily gives his number to their waitress. Mila meets her in her dorm room to practice magic. A simple exercise to float a rose goes awry, causing the rose to fly wildly around the room. And the next morning, Giles wakes up in his apartment and discovers he's been transformed into a horned creature. He tries to make a call, but he breaks the telephone receiver with his incredible strength, rips his shirt when he tries to wear it, then breaks the door of his hinges as he leaves the house. At breakfast, Will tells Buffy she was practicing magic alone. Will tells Buffy she was practicing magic alone, which mentions that some magical force interfered with the spell she was attempting to cast. Will then tells Buffy that Giles has been feeling left out of the loopy, and Buffy realizes that she never told Giles about Riley and the Initiative. Giles goes to Xander's basement and tries to get him to help. Xander wakes up, but he doesn't recognize or understand Giles, who is speaking another language. Xander starts to throw pots and pans at him, and Giles runs away. The Scuba Gang find Giles' place destroyed, and they write the same demon that went to Xander was responsible for hurting or even killing Giles. Walking through a cemetery, Giles runs into Spike, who is measuring a mausoleum. He recognizes Giles and identifies him as a Fieral demon. Because he speaks the language, Spike agrees to help find Ethan and fix things for cash. Spike tries to figure out how to drive Giles' car while telling Giles what he knows about the Fieral demons. Giles faces urge to be as violent as the species is known of being, but upon spotting Walsh, he asks Spike to stop the car. Giles runs after her, screaming, then, now more calm, returns to the car. The gang find information on the demon in Giles' book and discover it can only be killed with a silver object. The Initiative phones Riley and tells him a demon took Giles' car. Buffy guesses some perform dark magic to control the Fieral. She takes a litter opener before leaving for the magic shop. In the bar, Spike gets information of the waitress that Ethan flirted with and finds out where he's staying. Breaking into the magic shop, Buffy has received materials Ethan purchased. While trying to see if the commando vehicle is chasing after them, Giles jumps out of the car. The commandos continue their pursuit on Spike, who quickly crashes the car. Giles runs into Ethan's motel room and attacks him. Buffy and Riley arrive on the scene, and, while Riley takes care of Ethan, Buffy fights with Demon Giles. She shouts with Little Burner, but then she looks into his eyes and realizes it's Giles. She gets right and soon notices the weapon is apparently not made of real silver. Ethan finishes, turning Giles back into a human with a spell. Then she arrives to arrest Ethan, and Giles goes to watch him get put away. Buffy thanks Riley for his help, and Riley admires her abilities as the Slayer. Later, Buffy apologizes to Giles for not telling about Riley and the initiative. Giles says he's worried about her safety and whom she trusts. Walsh is upset that Riley disobeyed orders for Buffy, but she thinks that Buffy will work out. Passing through security doors, Walsh enters a room labeled 314. So let's take a look at some continuity surrounding this episode. This episode marks the only time on the show in which Buffy's birthday is celebrated without the inevitable unfortunate event happening to her, although it is someone close to her, as opposed to surprised, helpless, and older and far away. Riley jokes that the Sunnydale High School library has gone downhill since Giles left. Riley's son doomed to the effects of the explosion from Graduation Day Part 2. Michael Walsh asks Buffy how many hostiles she has killed. At this point, her slay count includes over 100 demons and vampires since her first slay in Becoming Part 1. The most of which Giles encounters Ethan later becomes Spike's home from the next episode until Seeing Red. Anya and Spike talk about Crypts not having electricity. This new place will soon be fixed, so we'll have a functioning TV. Crushed by Spike, this episode marks the last appearance in Giles' 010 to be replaced by Red BMW in Real Me. Ethan warns Giles about the number 314, which revealed to be the number of the room in which Adam has been built for the 314 project. Similarly, in his next appearance, Ethan will help Buffy to identify the number 30, revealed to be the room in which he's held a captive. As well as Spike is able to understand the Firewall language. In Last Gleaming Part 2, will credit this language as enabling his research on the Twilight Prophecy. Buffy will introduce Giles' transformation to a Firewall to prove she's herself, recalling the event Molly body in the episode Who Are You? Ethan will stay imprisoned by the government until his assassination in The Long Way Home Part 4. And now let's take a look at some production notes from this episode. Producer Douglas Petrie has mentioned the creative process behind this episode's metaphor. Quote, "Well, we thought that Giles was a little bit underserved at this point in the season and wanted to give him something to be doing. It's always fun to have Ethan Rayne back in the mix. Really, this is Giles' midlife crisis episode. It was the first time that we got to deal with a metaphor that was adult, not teen-oriented at all, and quite a bit of fun. There were a couple ideas kicked around. We were talking about a portal. We're talking about making him younger, him becoming older, and kind of recapturing his youth by becoming, I don't think seriously. But I know Jane Espenson was kicking around the idea of getting teenage actors to play teenage versions of Giles and Ethan and to have young Ethan try to seduce Buffy. This is an intriguing idea, but ultimately we went with a pretty straight-up metaphor of his questioning himself in the middle of his life and he's turning into a monster," end quote. This episode marks the final appearance of Robin Sachs in the television series. From now on, Emma Caulfield is credited with as Anya under her name for the rest of the 4th season. And now let's take a look at some pop cultural references. Giles Hess being lost in the UC Sunnydale Halls makes him feel like the Greek myth of Theseus and the Minotaur in the Labyrinth. Riley compares Buffy's strength to the fictional superhero Spider-Man. And now finally, let's take a look at some goofs. When Giles is dusting his bookcase and pulls down a book to read something in it, the pages of the book are blank. When Giles comes to Xander's basement for help, we see laundry hanging up behind Giles' head. A pair of briefs alternates between hanging correctly on the drying line to hanging limply with only one side attached. This change happens at least 4 times, going from one state to the other. When Giles opens the front door of his apartment, he pulls it completely off its hinges and it topples against the settee to the right of the doorway. But when Buffy and the Scoobies arrive, the door is back upright and still attached by its topmost hinge. Also, when they first get to the apartment, the door appears to be on the outside, but once they're inside, so is the door. As Giles drinks with Ethan in the pub, the beer in his glass changes levels. His phone Giles faces the camera, and it's dramatically emptier when the camera points across the table toward Ethan. During the fight with Buffy, the inner flaps of the Firewall costume are evident as Giles lands on the bed. Likewise, the gash in the spine of the suit rips open. So overall, I think this episode is kind of interesting, and the fact that Giles transforms to a demon is kind of a little bit interesting. So yeah. So overall, I give A New Man 4 vampire steaks out of 5. But anyway, tune in a while as we take a look at the next episode, The Iron Team. So, until then, here endeth the lesson.